H1. 5 things you should never share. Some revelations in life leave permanent scars. I discovered this truth far too late. At 74, I've witnessed how my own words dismantled everything I'd carefully constructed. Bonds, credibility, tranquility. All shattered because I failed to exercise restraint. We inhabit a reality where language holds immense force. A single phrase can unravel your entire existence. Those closest to you possess the greatest capacity to wound you. My errors have been profound, and each one began identically, speaking when silence would have served me better. Often, you convince yourself that your connection runs deep enough. You believe they'll comprehend. So you open up. You expose yourself. You admit things. Then it returns to haunt you like a blade between your shoulders. Intentional or not, the harm cuts just as deep. With age comes a different kind of understanding, one focused on preservation. The most crucial lesson: certain truths must remain unspoken, not with relatives, not with companions, not with anyone. I'm about to reveal 5 truths you must protect. Once voiced, they become irretrievable. Expressing every thought isn't courage. Often, it's simply reckless, because the wrong revelations don't merely wound others, they devastate you. If these words strike a chord, show your support by commenting your location and your time of watching, and subscribe to this channel. Also share this video. I'm Golden Hours. Let's dive in. Truth number 1, your ambitions. Never broadcast your intentions. Simply execute them, then allow others to witness the outcome. Here's my story. At 32, I was youthful and brimming with aspirations. Years of careful saving had given me a plan. I intended to establish a modest bookshop in my community. Nothing extravagant, just a peaceful space for people to settle in with literature and coffee. I'd located the ideal property, an aging structure on a street corner, expansive windows, excellent natural light. My imagination painted the picture vividly. Shelves brimming with volumes, inviting seating, the aroma of fresh toffee mingling with paper. My excitement was overwhelming, my pride palpable. That proved to be my critical error. I shared my vision. At Sunday's family meal, my father responded, "A bookshop? Nobody reads these days. Television is what people want." My closest friend laughed over beverages. "You, managing a business? You struggle with basic finances," he said. During lunch with colleagues, one remarked, "Pleasant fantasy, but face reality. You've secured steady employment. Don't risk it." One after another, they eroded my confidence. They imposed their anxieties upon you, their disappointments, their boundaries. Gradually, I began accepting their narrative. Perhaps they're correct. Perhaps I'm inadequate for this challenge. Perhaps the risk exceeds the reward. So I abandoned it. I remained in my position. I kept my head low. I convinced myself the opportunity would come later, when circumstances aligned better. That moment never materialized. 4 decades later, I occasionally pass that building. Another entrepreneur opened a bistro there. It thrives. Customers queue outside each morning, and I reflect. That success could have belonged to me. Here's my lesson. When you announce your goals, something peculiar occurs mentally. You experience immediate gratification simply from discussing it. Your mind treats it as accomplished. Suddenly, the drive evaporates. Worse still, people will undermine you, sometimes deliberately, sometimes unconsciously. They sow uncertainty. They recall your previous setbacks. They enumerate every obstacle. So here's your strategy. Guard your plans privately. Operate quietly. When questioned about your activities, respond with "nothing much" or "the usual." Remain ambiguous. Then once you've succeeded, once you've realized your objective, that's when you reveal it. By then, they're powerless to obstruct you. Remember, Silence equals strength. Truth number 2. Your finances. Never disclose your financial standing, because wealth transforms every relationship. Let me share Daniel's story. Daniel is 73, residing in Boston, spent his career as an engineer. He saved diligently, invested wisely, lived frugally. Upon retirement, he'd built substantial security, not wealthy, but comfortable enough to live without anxiety. Daniel took pride in that achievement. During a family gathering at Christmas, when someone inquired about retirement, Daniel beamed. Wonderful, honestly. I'm financially secure for life. Just that, a single statement, and everything shifted. Within weeks, his phone wouldn't stop ringing. First, his niece, 25 years old, drowning in education debt. Uncle Dan, could you assist me? Perhaps 18,000. I'll repay you, Daniel wavered. But family obligations matter, correct? So he obliged. Then his brother called. Required capital for a venture. 25,000. Daniel helped again. Then his former colleague. Healthcare expenses. 12,000. Daniel helped. Then his neighbor. Then his sister's son. Then acquaintances he hadn't contacted in decades. Everyone suddenly recalled Daniel's existence. Everyone suddenly required assistance. Daniel's generous by nature. He genuinely wanted to help. So he continued agreeing. 24 months later, his retirement savings had halved. But the cruelest part? Half those people never repaid him. They promised, they vowed, yet they didn't. The other half ceased communication once they'd received what they needed. No more greeting cards, no more holiday visits. They'd extracted what they wanted. Daniel had outlived his usefulness. He confided in me. I believed I was supporting family, but I merely transformed myself into a lending institution. Once the funds dried up, they vanished. That's money's effect. It alters perception. You cease being human. You become an asset. A mobile ATM. It's not merely about direct requests. It's about assumptions. Once your financial status is known, suddenly you're expected to cover larger shares at restaurants, provide more expensive gifts, absorb costs, and worse, resentment. Once people know you possess more, comparisons begin. Bitterness festers, evolving into envy. So here's your approach. Maintain financial privacy. When asked about your situation, respond with managing. You know how things are. Stay vague. Keep them uncertain. Because once they know, they'll pursue it. And they won't relent until it's depleted. Truth number 3. You're suffering. Nobody genuinely wants to hear about your hardships. I understand how harsh that sounds, but it's reality. Consider Margaret. Margaret is 74, living in Denver. She battles arthritis, deteriorating joints, persistent spinal issues. Some mornings, rising from bed feels impossible. Basic activities become ordeals, preparing meals, maintaining her home, dressing herself. Pain permeates everything. For some time, Margaret practiced honesty. When people inquired about her well-being, she told the truth. Not particularly well. My joints are excruciating. My spine is worsening. Sleep was nearly impossible last night. She believed she was being authentic, open. But something unexpected began happening. Her companions stopped reaching out. They stopped extending invitations. They stopped inquiring about her welfare. Margaret felt wounded, forsaken. But here's reality. Everyone experiences pain, particularly at our age. When you vocalize yours, you're not creating connection. You're creating burden. You're forcing people to confront their own difficulties. Nobody desires that. People carry sufficient problems already. ... They don't need yours added to their load. Now, I'm not suggesting you endure alone. If assistance is necessary, request it. Consult your physician. Speak with your partner. Connect with someone capable of actually helping. But don't broadcast your suffering universally. Don't make it your defining characteristic. Because here's what happens when you do. People begin defining you by your struggles. You become the one with bad joints, the perpetually ill one, the complainer. Once that label adheres, they stop perceiving everything else about you. They overlook your insight, your wit, your experiences. They see only your suffering, and they prefer avoiding it. Here's what you must grasp. People respect fortitude. They admire endurance. They gravitate toward optimism. In your presence, they want to feel uplifted, not weighed down. So provide that. Maintain composure. Project positivity, not through pretense, but through choosing dignity over sympathy. Reserve your struggles for those positioned to genuinely help, but for everyone else, be the person they enjoy being around. Remember, your pain is yours to bear, not theirs to witness. Truth number 4, your history, your errors, your remorse, your shame. Keep them concealed. Because once revealed, people will never allow you to forget. Let me tell you about Susan. Susan is 69, residing in Miami, and she's carried a secret for 3 decades. In her late 30s, she committed infidelity. Her marriage was faltering. She felt isolated, overlooked, and she made a decision that haunted her forever. The affair concluded. She remained married. Her husband never discovered it, and she spent decades bearing that guilt. It consumed her, disrupted her sleep. One day, she encountered someone she believed trustworthy, a friend from her community group. They'd been acquainted for years. Susan thought, perhaps sharing this will finally bring relief. So she told her. She revealed everything, the affair, the deception, the guilt, the shame. Momentarily, it did feel better, like releasing a weight. But that relief was temporary. Within 2 weeks, others began regarding her differently, whispering as she passed, avoiding her at gatherings. Her confidant had told someone who told another, and within a month, everyone knew. Susan's most private secret spread rapidly. People who'd known her for years suddenly viewed her through a different lens. They condemned her. They gossiped. They excluded her. One woman stated directly, "I cannot believe you did that. 3 decades ago or not. It's inexcusable." Susan left that community. She never returned. She told me, "I thought concession would liberate me, but it destroyed me instead. I wish I'd remained silent." Here's the truth. People claim they value honesty. They claim they won't judge, but they're mistaken. Because when you reveal your secrets, you're surrendering power. Power for them to judge you, to gossip about you. The timeline doesn't matter. Your transformation doesn't matter. Once they know, they'll never forget. And they'll ensure you never forget either. So here's your course. Keep your history private. Your mistakes belong to you. Your regrets belong to you. You owe no one explanations. You owe no one confessions. Learn from your past. Make reparations where possible. Forgive yourself, but don't share it, because once released, it's irretrievable. Some things deserve to remain buried, and your past is among them. Truth number 5, others' confidences. If someone entrusts you with their secret, carry it to your final day. Let me tell you about Thomas. Thomas is 78, living in Chicago, and he lost his closest friend through one mistake. Years ago, his friend confided something deeply personal, something painful, something never shared with anyone else. Thomas felt honored, valued, or so he believed. He kept it private. One evening, Thomas's wife noticed his distraction and asked what was troubling him, and Thomas told her, "Just between us, nobody else." He assumed it would be acceptable. "She's my wife. We share everything." But his wife mentioned it to her sister, who mentioned it to her friend, who told someone else. Before long, that secret had spread everywhere. Thomas's friend discovered it, and he was crushed. He called Thomas. His voice trembled. "I trusted you. I shared something I'd never told another soul, and now it's everywhere. How could you?" Thomas attempted explanation, attempted apology, but it was futile. His friend disconnected, and they never communicated again. Thomas told me, "I lost my closest friend over a single conversation, one moment of weakness, and I can never restore that." Here's the truth. When someone shares a secret, they're offering something precious. Their trust, their vulnerability. Betray that even once to even one person, and you've shattered something irreparable. But it transcends loyalty. It's about self-preservation. Because when you gossip, when you share others' secrets, you're revealing something about yourself. I'm untrustworthy. I can't maintain discretion. Once people recognize that, they'll never trust you again. So here's your mandate. If someone confides in you, secure it. Bury it deeply. Don't tell your spouse. Don't tell your best friend. Don't tell anyone. Because secrets proliferate. That's their nature. And you're the source. You're the one who violated trust. So protect others' confidences as if they were your own. Because when you do, people will trust you. People will respect you. And that's rare. That's valuable. That's worth preserving. Remember, a shared secret is a betrayed secret. Final reflection. Most people speak excessively. They share too freely. They reveal too readily. Then they wonder why drama fills their lives, why people exploit them, why people judge them. The answer is straightforward. They surrendered too much information, too much power. So practice restraint. Practice keeping things private. I'm 74 years old, and I learned this through painful experience. I told people my plans, and they crushed my aspirations. I told people about my finances, and they exploited me. I told people about my pain, and they distanced themselves. I told people about my history, and they condemned me. I violated someone's trust, and I lost them permanently. These are lessons I cannot reverse, mistakes I cannot retract. But you don't need to repeat them. Protect your ambitions, protect your finances, protect your suffering, protect your history, protect others' confidences, because once released, they cannot be reclaimed. Stay wise, stay silent, stay strong. If this resonated with you, show your support and follow along. Share in the comments which of these 5 truths spoke to you most powerfully. I'm Golden Hours, and remember, your silence is your power.